The season is almost here and we are waiting, anticipating. So we're talking about the transfer window and, of course, top four predictions. So let me just start with the transfers. I'm going to be asking, are you impressed with the signings your clubs have been making so far? Or is there a signing you are expecting to see? I'll start with Liverpool because it's so unusual for them. They are shocking us this transfer window, splashing money. They are not even done yet. So, Franco, how would you say the signings have been for you for Liverpool?
Very exciting. Obviously, it's going to change the way they play, but Scott's got his ideas. It will affect the players that have been there already. Salah will play differently, um, but there's more to come. And the thing is, you have to get stronger because every team gets stronger, every squad gets stronger. So it really is up to everyone to strengthen, and I think it's going to be very exciting because it's impossible to tell how it's going to go at the moment.
Okay, okay. Man City, your transfers so far.
I feel like we have not addressed some things, but this week I've been impressed by some of the recent links this season, right? But I felt like one of the things we needed to do coming into this transfer window was to clear out, not clear out, but at least out of the three or out of the four uncles that we have in our midfield, I expected us to let go of three. And it looks like so far we have really let it go of De Bruyne, which was to me the most creative of all the uncles in that midfield. Um, so I feel like we have not adequately addressed that midfield options, but we have players coming back from injuries, and I feel like this season Nico also, which we signed in January, will be properly integrated. I was just going through some of our old. Someone posted an old tweet in 2020 of our signing when we signed Rodri, and I was going through the comments, right, and I see how much we were bashing Rodri back in 2020 as not being up to the level of Fernandinho back then. And I feel like the same thing happened to Nico last season because Rodri set up a standard that anybody that was coming to fill the shoe of Rodri was going to struggle in that. So I felt like Nico would do better this season as far as being a rotation for Rodri, especially at the starting of the season. But I'm also very, very impressed with Reinders. Oh, I think that's been our best signing along with Chucky. But I'll say Reinders because Reinders will reduce Pep's dependency on those ongs, especially Gundogan. Gundogan played 51 games last season as a 33-year-old. And that was because of the injuries and lack of options that we had there last season. So I think Reinders would cover up a lot with that. He has that energy that we need. So even though we have not signed a out to out DM like I wanted, I feel like we do have some options there that we can make do, and I trust in Pep to be able to adequately use those midfield options. But a position that I felt like was very much needed that we have not addressed was the right back, right? I think we are lacking severely in the right back position there. This I think all I this but I love Pep, but I put the blame on Pep in this scenario because 2 years ago was when we should have started looking for a right back. But Walker was about to leave, and Pep had an hour meeting in a restaurant in his restaurant in Manchester and convinced Walker to stay back. And that made the board not to look for a right back, and that affected us last season when Walker's form dropped dramatically. And since then, we have not been able to find adequate replacement for Walker. Although we do have Rico, which is decent, but it's not a right back where you're looking to challenge on all three fronts. Rico is not someone that you would say, okay, this is my top right back for a top team like Manchester City. In fact, any of the top teams that is competing, Rico is not the one. He's talented, but he has a long way to go to be the first choice. And from what we know so far during our preseason, Nunes is our first choice. Nunes has what I called a zombie characteristics in the sense that he could play 80 minutes, but just 1 minute, that is zombie attitude will just be activated and he will do a back pass only to a goal. So our options in the right place, in the right of the defense is where I'm struggling a lot with acceptance. I felt like yes, and Nuri was a good signing, but we had more options to cover us at left back. I know we converted Gavidol from centre back to left back, and he was one of the best left back last season based on his output. And Ake could cover there, but we never had any options for the right back. I'm thinking Pep might go back to his Champions League run where he used Akanji as a right back, but in top games, in the big games. So I'm thinking that's what he's thinking at the back of his head, just from knowing Pep. But to fully analyze that, I think those are the areas that we need to address. Just to cover some of the links that have happened this week, with us Savino leaving and us replacing him with Rodrigo. For me, Savino is a very talented player. I wish he could stay. My only problem with that with Savino is that it does a good rate of work. He's very good in assisting. I think he had like 12 assists. He was the most assists among all our wingers last season. Where I have a problem with Savino is he could dribble everyone, but once he gets in front of goal, he doesn't know how to convert his chances. I think that is his biggest issue. That issue will be addressed by Rodrigo. Rodrigo is very much more clinical in front of goal. So I think that will address that issue a lot. And I think one of the reasons why Savino is scared about his option is I know much of you have not watched Oscar Bob, but Oscar Bob was supposed to be a breakout player for us last season, right? He was our best player during preseason last season. And just before the season started, he had a big injury that ruled him out of the season. And since he came back from preseason, he has been impressing Pep. And people close to Pep believe like he's gonna right now is one of the top choices to get the right wing side. And I think that's one of the things that Savio is scared of because the World Cup year and the last two games, Brazil did not invite him for the international game. So he's scared of like losing that position. So that's why he's people are saying he's choosing the easy route by going to Tottenham, where he can easily win a spot in Tottenham. So I think that's the fear there. But also, I saw today, yesterday, also that Galatasaray wants Ederson, and our replacement for Ederson will be Donnarumma. And I feel like for once, if that happened, that would be a great choice. I love Ederson; is one the best distributor in terms of goal, but it's not as effective in keeping shot out. So I feel like that would be that would help us a lot. So I feel like those two transfer window right now, I don't see us as a major challenger. The only reason I believe we're even a challenger in the first place is because we have the best manager in the world. But if we signed Rodrigo and Donnarumma, I'll put us up there as one of the favorites.
Okay. Arsenal, Vieira.
Right. Oh, okay. Um, to be honest, this window, I will say this openly. This is the best window I've seen in Arsenal in almost 20 years, if not even longer. I've never seen one window we've addressed so many issues we have. At the moment, this window is I would give an 8 over 10. It can easily be 10 over 10 if they get one more player. Dr. Fab mentioned Rodrigo. It seems Man City is now going in for that guy. To me, if you get Rodrigo or Eze, this would
Yeah.
be a 10 over 10 window for me. And I will have no complaints. I mean, what happens once we start playing football with the team is a different story. But in terms of what we needed, almost everything's been addressed apart from one. Almost everything. Backups, we now have backup to good positions. Players who are leaving, we've replaced with either equal or better. I don't think we've even weakened in any position. And we cover and one one position we've not had a player since Aubameyang. For once, we finally got somebody who's not a false nine, who's not a converted striker. That's his job, So I'm really happy with this window in terms of what's been done so far. Being a human being, I'm also greedy. I want Izzy, or I want Rodrigo. If we get that, I'm fully happy. I mean, we've got Kepa as a new backup to our keeper. We've got Mascara. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, to back up to our central defenders. We lost Jorginho. We got Northgard. And another thing about people like Northgard is I like when you have players who are actually Arsenal fans as well. This is somebody because they have the extra energy of what they want to do. I love when you get those players. And Northgard is an Arsenal fan. He wanted to play for Arsenal. So, I like that he's coming. Partey's gone. We've got Zubimendi. Very, very happy with that. This guy, Nino Madueke, I don't know why people are complaining.
The amount.
People, I don't know. Some people. Well, I guess I'm an older guy. These young guys, they look at because we bought Sterling last season, or they did us this. Okay, park that one. When I saw the few times I saw Madueke play last season for Chelsea, he looks scary to me. He's one of those guys who go at you. Something we miss in our team. So bringing him in either to play, because he can play both sides, so he can help Martinelli when Martinelli is having head touch. He can back up Saka. I mean, another issue we had last season is if one of our key players are gone, we are finished. We lost Saka for God knows how long last season. We lost Odegaard and you could see the difference. Now we've got backup. I'm very happy, Sha. As an Arsenal fan, I can't complain this season. One more, easy, or let's steal Rodrigo from Man City.
Okay. Andy, Man United. What can you say about his
Thanks.
signing?
Yeah, I think I'll say I'm chuffed, right? I didn't expect the sort of window we've had so far, right? I know we had a lot of issues going into the off season in several positions, right? But I do like the fact that we've signed how many players now? 4 players already. Leon, who's a wing back, Cunha, left 10, Bumo right 10, and Shesko, who is a center forward striker, right? But I feel that we still need a destroyer, which is why we've been linked to Baleba. Whether we're able to sign in from Brighton remains to be seen, right? They're probably going to put us a transfer fee not of £100 million. But I think with some outgoings, we might be able to do that deal. We do need a destroyer in that midfield. He's not exactly a deep lying playmaker, right? But he's good in basically breaking up opposition attacks and also opposition attacks and propelling us as well up front. I've not seen a better ball progressor than him in recent times, right? Is all more or less like Caicedo, which is where Brighton is really good. They sell players, but they already have a pipeline of players to replace those they sell. And I hear that they have someone who could potentially replace Baleba as well. So I'm really looking forward to us bidding for Baleba. The goalkeeper would have been the 6th signing I would have been happy with, because Onana is not really someone I believe should be a Manchester United goalkeeper, right? So if we're able to get a goalkeeper in, it would be great. I hear City is in for Donnarumma, and I've actually reached an agreement with him, so he's off the table. But if we can get a younger keeper like Lamens, the Belgian guy, I think it would be good. A wing back would have been good as well. I don't rate Dalot at all, right? He's so one-dimensional, doesn't give us anything going forward. He's also not very good defending. So I would like a situation where we sign a wing back as well, but I don't think we'll be able to pull that off in this window. So maybe that will be in the January or winter transfer window where we look at the wing back. Yeah, but I think the spine of the team is looking much better than it did last season. The attack is basically, £200 million right now with Shesko being added. And I think he's really, really going to give us another dimension in attack, especially when it comes to putting away crosses from the likes of Mbumo and Ahmad. So, yeah, I'm happy. If I were to rate the transfer window so far, I would say 7.5 over 10.
Okay.